Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to show you a build. This is my General Warden. He is an orc. We're putting everything into stamina. Okay, we're using the Shadow. And we are using Dubious Cameron Thorn for our food. In my playstyle, I'm very aggressive, so I use a lot of stamina. Alright. Let's look at our weapons that we're using. Okay, so we're using Briarheart, okay, for our weapons and part of our body. But it's probably better if you use Briarheart for, you know, all one set. So you could use it all body, or you could use it all weapons and jewelry. This is just how I picked them up, so that's how I'm using them. But let's go down here. So my axe is Nirnhoned with a poison damage. Okay, you can add poison also. It'll increase your stats just a little bit more. I don't know, probably 2K. I haven't really tested it. I'll go ahead and test it and then put out the results for you. Okay, so our offhand, we're using Sharpened. Okay, we're using a dagger. Okay, now you can get a free Briarheart dagger from a quest. It's the Matera Bodkin, something like that. You get it for free, but it is not sharpened, so you will have to transmute it. Okay, now I have my bow, Briarheart bow. It's infused. Okay, let's move on down. Okay, now like I said, I have it on my chest, but the reason we're using Briarheart on this is because it does give us good weapon damage for 10 seconds. Okay, so you have a 25% chance. Now I do understand Briarheart will be changing something in the next update, but if I recall right, it's not a huge difference that nobody will be using Briarheart anymore. I think it'll still be okay. Then while this is active, your critical strikes heal you for 378. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. It's something. It's not a whole lot, but at least it's something. Alright, so the other we're using is Aegis. Okay, this is another good set I like. The only defect with this set that I find is when it brings up that lesser Aegis, it kind of gets in the way, so you kind of lose the boss sometimes. So like if you're doing Keel Splitter, he jumps around. Sometimes you actually kind of lose him for a second. Not a big deal, you can get by it, just got to pay a little more attention. Okay, so when you deal critical melee damage, summon a lesser Aegis for 11 seconds. After 2.5 seconds, the lesser Aegis spins its blades, dealing 4,918 bleed damage every 1 second. Okay, this effect can occur once every 12 seconds. So if you look, it's up most of the time. Okay, I think it's like 1 second, 2 seconds that it's not actually up. Okay, and everything should be gold. Obviously, my jewelry is not gold here, but it should be gold if you can. Okay, so on our neck, we're running Stamina Recovery, okay, and Robust. You could use Bloodthirsty if you wanted to here. Also on the jewelry, or the rings. Okay, on the 2 rings, we're running Robust and Weapon Damage. If you find that the stamina, you can actually go without it, add it here. If you need more stamina, change one of these out. You're not going to lose tons. It's a little bit, but you won't lose a whole lot on that. Alright, so let's go back and take a look at our skills. Okay, so the first skill we're using is, let's actually swap it out so we can actually see how we're going to kind of do our rotation here. Okay, so our first skill that we're using, Indo's Hail, okay, that comes from the bow skill line. I believe it is the second thing that you'll get in the line. Okay. Endless Hail gives us launch a multitude of arrows into the sky to rain down, dealing 1,408 physical damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second for 12 seconds after a 2-second delay. Okay. So the next one we're using, okay, the Bull Netch is really important because it restores stamina, okay, over 25 seconds, and grants you major brutality and sorcery, increases your weapon and spell damage by 20%. Okay, it also, every 5 seconds, the Netch removes 1 negative effect from you. Okay, that's really good because if you get hit with a bleed or something, it'll take it off. Alright, the next one is Barb Trap. Okay, this one comes from the Undaunted skill line, or sorry, Fighter's Guild skill line. Okay, it's right here. Okay, set a sharpened blade trap at your location, which takes 1.5 seconds to arm and lasts for 1 minute. Okay, so what that means is it actually opens up and sits there for 1 minute. Okay, now when it's triggered, the trap deals 4,197 physical damage and additional 15,219 damage over 18 seconds. Gives you minor force, increasing your critical damage by 10%. Okay, enemies who activate the trap are immobilized for 2 seconds. Okay, so that stops down. It's not going to stop a boss or anything, but at least on some of the mobs, it might slow one of them down for you. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. Okay, now these are heals. Okay, if you don't find that you need heals, you can kind of put, these are like, you know, what they call a flex spot. You can kind of put what you want in there. Green Lotus. Okay, embrace your Lotus Blessing, causing your light attacks to restore 1,372 health, and your fully charged heavy attacks to restore 4,118 health to you and nearby allies for 20 seconds. Okay, it grants you major savagery, increasing your weapon critical and rating by 2,191 for 20 seconds. So now if we look here, we have this one that gives us major savagery. Then we also have, this one gives us major brutality. Okay, now that means that you really don't have to use the potion if you don't want to, because that's what the potion gives you. Okay, so we'll take a look at that here in just a second. Leeching Vines. Okay, this is another heal. Okay, this one does cost magicka, so use it sparingly because we don't have tons of magicka. Okay, both of these are magicka. Sorry, I didn't point that out. Both of these are magicka, so I arm them and then I move on. Now this one is 20 seconds and this one is 10 seconds. Okay, like I said, use it sparingly. Use this more often than this one. Okay, use the Green Lotus more often than the Leeching Vines because the Green Lotus has a longer time. Okay, and you can incorporate that into the rotation quite easy. All right, and the last one, on our ultimate, we have the Wild Guardian, sorry. Rouse a grizzly to fight on your side. The grizzly swipes, dealing 2,818 physical damage, and sometimes swipes all enemies in front of it, dealing 11,276 physical damage and stunning them for 2 seconds. Now, when you actually activate the ultimate, you get, for 75 ultimate, causing the grizzly to maul an enemy for 12,751 physical damage. Okay, now the important thing here is that it deals 100% more damage to enemies with 25% health. Okay, so if you're in a fight and you know that you can activate your ultimate at 35%, just wait till you get to 25% because you're going to get more out of it. All right, so our next one, okay, this is the front bar. Okay, Subterranean Assault 4. Okay, stir a group of shock that attack after 3 seconds, dealing 12,961 poison damage to enemies in front of you. Okay, enemies damaged are afflicted with major fracture, reducing their physical resistance by 5,280 for 6 seconds. Okay, what that means is it weakens them. So you need to keep this up as much as possible at all times. So how I built it into the rotation is about every 3 seconds, we're hitting it. Okay, because it weakens them down by quite a bit, okay, for 6 seconds. Now, we're going to be hitting it about every 3, so not a problem. Okay, the next one is Growing Swarm. Okay, unleash a swarm of Fletcher flies to relentlessly attack an enemy, causing them to bleed for 14,496 physical damage over 10 seconds. The Fletcher flies rip through the original enemy's flesh, afflicting them with minor vulnerability, the duration increasing their damage taken by 8%. Okay, so this works very good with this one because this one gives us major fracture. Okay, so we're weakening them as we go. Now, this kind of acts as like an AoE also. Okay, enemies near the carrier take 1,509 physical damage every 2 seconds for the duration. Okay, so they're going to be getting hit with roughly 15,000. Okay, and the main guy is going to be getting hit with roughly 15,000 also. All right, Rapid Strikes is our next. Okay, flood an enemy with steel, battering them with 5 consecutive attacks that each deal 1,378 physical damage. Each hit increases the damage of the subsequent hit by 3%. The final hit deals 300% more damage. Okay. So obviously this is a dual wield. All right. The next one we have Spiked Bone Shield. I'm pretty much using this just for when I do dungeons and stuff. I do use it on some world bosses if I'm soloing, because this is pretty much a solo build. So you do use it when you're soloing bosses and stuff like that. But on a regular use, you don't really use this that much. Okay, so if you're just doing normal delves or something, you can even take it off. Okay, so surround yourself with a whirlwind of bones, gaining a damage shield that absorbs up to 5,385 damage for 6 seconds, and returns 134% of direct damage absorbed back to the enemy. This ability scales off your max health. Okay, so the more health we have, the more damage shield we have. Okay, and then this return is really good because it actually sends back damage to the boss or whatever you're fighting. Okay, an ally near you can activate the Bone Wall synergy, granting the ally and up to 5 other allies a damage shield equal to 30% of their max health. Okay, so 30%. It's quite a bit for, when you're in a dungeon. It might be just that extra little thing that you need just to get through the boss. All right, so Soothing Spores. This is our burst heal that we're going to use. Okay, and again, you don't have to have this on all the time. You can put something else in its slot, and I'll give you another couple options here that you can put in the slots to help you out a little bit. Okay, seed a large area of mushrooms in front of you, healing you and your allies for 7,307 health. Heals for 15% more on allies that are within 8 meters of you. Okay, so if you see somebody's in trouble and the healer's not doing their job, you can kind of give them a little hand if you needed to with this. This isn't really a dungeon build, but it does work very well in the dungeon. Okay, because we have too many heals on this. All right, so if we take a look here, we can replace some of these skills if we wanted to. You could replace, let's say, let's lay Bone Shield on, but you could replace Soothing Spores with something like Cutting Dive, okay, because that'll put the enemy off balance, okay, and there is a champion point that we can use. It'll give us 10% more damage to the person or to a mob that's off balance, okay. So this is a good alternative if you wanted to use that. Okay, you could always put in Bird of Prey, okay, which gives you minor berserk. Okay, and it also increases your movement speed. All right, so let's move on down. Okay, so now on the back bar, if I were to take off one of these heals, I would probably put in Poison Injection. Okay, so shoot an arrow coated with Bandari poison at an enemy, dealing 4,197 poison damage, and additional 8,455 poison damage over 10 seconds. Okay, deals up to 100% more damage to enemies under 50% health. So this is like the bear. It works well to shoot it normally because it does a lot, but if they're under 50% health, it even works better. All right, so you could also use Consuming Trap, okay, as kind of like a heal if you wanted to, because it does heal. Okay, so Consuming Trap, lay claim to an enemy's soul, dealing, for our case, it'd be 12,684 physical damage over 10 seconds. Okay, if an affected enemy dies, you fill an empty soul gem and heal for 2,954. You also restore stamina and magicka. Okay, so this is good if you find that you're running out of stamina and magicka. You can kind of use this and just throw it on a couple of mobs and move forward. All right, so you can also use Camouflage Hunter. Okay, so if you take off like Green Lotus, okay, you can use Camouflage Hunter, but you need to put it on both bars. So you would have to take off something else up here also, because that way you can get the entire, while slotted, you gain Major Savagery, increasing your weapon critical rating by 2,191. You also gain Minor Berserk for 5 seconds after dealing critical damage from an enemy's flank, increasing the damage done by 8%. Okay, so that means you're hitting them from the side. Okay, I don't really use it for that, but you could. All right, so you could use this. Just don't activate it because it costs so much stamina for no reason at all. Okay, if you're going to activate this, you might as well just use a potion at that point. Alright, so let's take a look at the passives that we're using here. Okay, under Animal Companions, we're using all of them. Okay, so Bond with Nature. Anytime one of your Animal Companion skills end, you are healed for 1,260. Okay, so every time I hit that Subterranean Assault and it finishes, I get back health. Okay, Savage Beast, when you cast an Animal Companion ability while you are in combat, you generate 4 ultimate. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. Okay, so every time I cast those up here, this one and this one, okay, I'm generating ultimate. And I'm also bonding with nature, so I'm healing off of those. Okay, Flourish, increase your magicka and stamina recovery by 12% if an Animal Companion ability is slotted. Okay, so what you could do is, due to the fact that I only have the animal stuff on the front bar, okay, so if I swap it out, you could put one on the back bar and you'll have a 12% regeneration on both bars. Okay, but since it's only on the front bar, I'm only regenerating on one bar when I'm on the front bar. Okay, Advanced Species, increased your damage done by 2% for each Animal Companion ability slotted. So we're 4%. So if we put in Cutting Dive, okay, up here in the front, that's going to become 6%. Okay, so you got to kind of balance out what you want to use on these. If you need the heals or do you need the damage? I don't really think you need the damage because he does quite a bit of damage already, but that's kind of your gameplay. All right, so Soothing Spores, okay. The passives in Green Balance. Okay, we're using Accelerated Growth. When you heal yourself or an ally under 40% health with the Green Balance ability, you gain Major Mending, increasing your healing done by 25%. Okay, so the next one is Nature's Gift. When you heal an ally with the Green Balance ability, you gain 250 magicka or 250 stamina, whichever pool is lower. This effect can occur every 1 second. Okay, we're not healing many allies with this, but if I do, if I am in a group and I need to heal somebody, I get back stuff. Okay, increase your healing done with Green Balance abilities by 2% for each Green Balance ability slotted. Okay, so we have one on both bars, okay, as the setup is. So we're always increasing our healing done. Okay, Maturation. When you activate a heal on yourself or an ally, you grant the target minor toughness, increasing their max health by 10% for 20 seconds. Okay, so when you heal yourself, you increase your health by 10% for 20 seconds. All right, so let's go back. Okay, Winter's Embrace, we're not really using anything here, so we don't really need the passives. Yeah, you can increase your physical and spell resistance if you want to. You could probably use, let's say, I don't know. I don't even really know which one. I don't even use them. There's no need. Reduce the effective snares applied to you by 7%. Now you could add something here because this doesn't require any of these. Okay, it's just a passive. So I could actually add those now. And it give me 50%. Okay. Increase your magic and frost damage by 5%. Now we don't have anything that is running magic or frost damage. Okay, so we don't really need that one. Alright, two-handed, we're not using anything. Alright, dual wield. Okay, as we already know, we're using rapid strikes. Okay, but we need slaughter. Increase damage with dual wield abilities by 20% against enemies who are under 25% health. Okay, so you kind of see we have this one, we have the bear, and we have the... Which one was it? There was another one here. Carrier. I don't even remember which one it was now. Alright. We have Slaughter. Okay, that we need. Increased damage with dual wield abilities by 20% against immunities under 25% health, just like a bear. Alright. Dual wield expert. Increased weapon damage by 6% of offhand weapons damage. Controlled Fury, reduce the stamina cost of dual wield abilities by 15%. This is good because we use a lot of the rapid strikes. Okay, Roughing gives you 15% damage bonus when attacking stunned, immobilized, disoriented, or silenced enemies. And Twin Blade and Blunt grants a bonus on the type of weapon. Okay, since we're using the axe, we have an 8% chance to bleed enemies for 12,072. Okay, and then we're also using the dagger. Each dagger increases your weapon's critical rating by 1,095. Okay, in our bow, we're using Endless Hail. Okay, Poison Injection, like I said, you could use that. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Poison Injection, you could use in place. Make sure you put it on your back bar, obviously, and you could use it in place of one of the heals. I would say Leeching Vines. All right. So long shots give you damage bonus of up to 12% against enemies at a longer range. Accuracy increases your weapon critical rating by 1,095. Reduces the stamina cost of your bow abilities. Okay, Ranger. Hawkeye, dealing damage with a light or heavy attack increases the damage of your bow abilities by 5% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Okay, so that's like if I fire off 5 in a row, it increases. Each time I fire it, it gets a little bit stronger, up to 5 times. Right? Hasty Retreat grants you major expedition for 4 seconds after you dodge roll. Major expedition increases your movement speed by 30%. This one, you could use it. I have it just because it's there, but I don't find this one really that important. I don't normally need to run around that fast. So that's kind of an option. If you want to put it on, you can. If you don't, I don't really see it as a really effective passive. All right, medium armor, we have everything. Okay, dexterity, windwalker, improved sneak, agility, and athletics. Okay, I'm not going to go over all of these. Heavy armor, we have resolve, constitution, and juggernaut. Okay, fighters guild. Okay, we want to make sure we have barb trap, which we already have on our bar. Okay, intimidating presence. This is a personal preference. You intimidate the NPCs, and what that does is it sometimes cuts down your time that you have to do when you're questing, okay, because you'll intimidate them. If not, they'll maybe make you go do like a little side thing and then come back. Yeah, just waste time. Okay, Slayer increases your weapon damage by 3% for each fighter's guild ability slotted. Okay, this only affects our back bar because we have Barb Trap down. Okay, Banish the Wicked. You generate 9 ultimate when you kill an undead, Daedra, or werewolf. Okay, so when you're fighting in dungeons where these are, you're going to see your ultimate go up really quick. Okay, Skill Tracker. Your fighter's guild abilities deal an additional 20% damage to undead, Daedra, and werewolves. All right, and Bounty Hunter. This one is something a preference again when you go to Cyrodiil. Okay, from the Fighters Guild in Cyrodiil. All right, Undaunted. Okay, we're using Spike Shield, obviously in our rotation. Okay, we're using Undaunted Command. Okay, activate an ally's synergy, restores 4% of your max health, stamina, magicka. Current bonus is 695 health, 1,377 stamina, and 394 magicka. Okay, so when we activate a synergy, we get all this back. Undaunted Metal increases your max health, stamina, magicka by 2% for each type of armor, heavy, medium, and light. Okay. Assault, we're not using anything in this, but I do recommend, especially if you're just starting out, Rapid Maneuver. If you're not 100% or 60%, whatever it is, on your mount, this will help you get around much quicker. And you could just leave this on the bar, replacing one of the heals when you're just cruising around. All right, Orc skills, we're using all of them. Okay, so Craftsman increases your experience gain with the heavy armor skill line by 15%. And increases your crafting inspiration by 10%. Okay, Brawny increases your max stamina by 2,000. Unflinching Rage increases your max health by 1,000. When you deal damage with the weapon ability, you heal for 600 health. This can occur every 4 seconds. Swift Warrior increases your weapon damage by 258. Reduces the cost of sprint by 12%. Increases the movement speed bonus of sprint by 10%. All right. All right. So in alchemy, I recommend that everybody does all, okay, of these. Even if you already have a crafter, it's not that hard to do, because you just do deconstruction and research and pick up sky shards as you go, and you can easily get this done in no time. It takes no time at all. Okay, but in alchemy, the most important thing we need to get here is you probably want to do your 8 for 8, okay, and solvent proficiency and medicinal use. Okay, now you would also want to get chemistry for this, because when you create 1 potion, you get 3 extra potion. Okay, or poisons, you get 12. Okay, so that's pretty important when you're actually, so you don't waste your materials. All right, provisioning. Okay, you want to get these all up. You also want to have either gourmand or connoisseur. Okay, since we're using dubious Cameron Thorn, which is a drink, okay, this will add 20 minutes to your drink. And brewer, okay, it creates 3 extra servings for each drink recipe. So if you create 1, you get 3 extra. Okay, so you want brewer, connoisseur, and then you want to have these leveled up as much as possible. All right, enchanting, if you can do this, even if you have somebody that builds you, get you your gear, or you get it in a dungeon, you may want to trade out for something. You want to trade out, you know, an enchant. Again, these don't take too long at all to do. It's just a matter of getting the sky shards and deconstructing stuff you find. All right, so let's take a look now at our champion points. All right, so we're going to start off in the green. All right, so we have Warlord 23, Sprinter 2, okay, which gives us Ensnare. Okay, when you use Bash, you have a 30% chance to reduce the enemy's movement speed by 20% for 3 seconds. This is actually pretty good, because when we're soloing, it helps out, because we're gonna use Bash sometimes when we have to interrupt somebody. All right, and the rest of these they didn't unlock. All right, so Tenacity, we're 49, and Mooncalf, we're at 100. Okay, which unlocks us Plentiful Harvest. Okay, you have a 10% chance to gain double the yield from a normal resource node. Synergize, when you activate a synergy ability, you generate 2 ultimate. Master Gatherer, reduce your gathering time by 5%. And Wild Running, increase your movement speed, amount to speed by 2%. Increase your health and magic recovery by 10% while sprinting. Okay, the next one, we have 48 in Shadow Ward and 48 in Tumbling. Now, if you know that you're not going to be blocking too much, you might take some of these and put them over here into Tumbling. Might help out a little bit, but due to the fact that I do both, I have them in both of them here. Okay, Fortune Seeker, okay, is activated. We get increased the amount of gold you find in treasure chests and safe boxes by 50%. Merchant Favor reduces the cost of repairing your armor by 10%. And Treasure Hunter, increase the quality of items you find in treasure chests. Okay, so you might get a blue item if you were normal, and maybe you get a purple now. Okay, and Shadow Strike we didn't get because we didn't put enough in. Now we have nothing in the Apprentice. Okay, all right, in the Atronach, we have 14 in Weapons Expert, 40 in Master at Arms, okay, which gives us retaliation. When you block a heavy attack, your next light attack used within 7 seconds deals 30% more additional damage. Now that comes right off the rotation. So if you block and your next thing is going to be a skill, you're going to light attack anyways. Okay, so you're going to get 13% more. All right, 44 in Thaumaturge, 56 in Precise Strikes, 60 in Piercing, and 56 in Mighty. All right, this unlocks Last Stand for us. When you fall below 20% health, you gain Major Heroism, granting 3 ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 9 seconds. This effect can occur every 20 seconds. Okay, we got Exploiter. Okay, this is important because when an enemy goes off balance, we increase our damage. Okay, Perfect Strike, increase your weapon critical by 9%. And Opportunist, when you interrupt an enemy, your next physical damage ability used within 7 seconds deals 15% more damage. All right, so that also with the bash that we've seen before, we get a little bit more out of it. All right, so Ironclad, we're 81. Spell Shield, 43. Okay, and that unlocks Invigorating Bash. When you use Bash, you have a 20% chance to heal for 868. Resilient, when you take critical damage, you heal for 173. Reinforced, when you begin bracing, you gain a damage shield that absorbs 1,254 damage for 3 seconds. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. And Phase, when you use Roll Dodge, your physical and spell resistance is increased by 660 for 3 seconds. All right, the next one we have Hardy, 49. Elemental Defender, 49. Thick-Skinned, 48. Okay, and that unlocks Bulwark. When you have a damage shield or frost staff equipped, your spell and physical resistance is increased by 1,500. Spell Absorption, when you take Flame, Frost, Shock, Magic, or Oblivion damage equal to 30% of your max health, you restore 3,465 magicka. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. Critical Leech, when you deal critical damage, you heal for 330. This can occur every 15 seconds. And Unchained, when you use Break Free, the cost of your next stamina ability used within 5 seconds is reduced by 80%. All right, and we're to the next one. We have Nothing in the Lord. All right, so it obviously didn't unlock anything. All right, that is the champion points. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the rotation here. All right, so the rotation is quite simple. Okay, we're going to use our potion, then we're going to use our Endless Hail, our Belly Netch, and our Barb Trap. Okay. If you do have on the Lotus, if you do have on this one right here, okay, you can probably omit part of the potion, okay, and due to the fact we have this one also, I believe it's this one, Major Savagery, that one's Minor Force, this one here gives us Major Brutality, okay, by 20 seconds, okay, so you could probably omit the potion if you wanted to, and just use the standard potion, standard tripod, which would be Stamina, Health, and Magicka, okay, because we are activating these and they are both 20 seconds. So within the rotation, you just activate them at 20 seconds. All right, so our rotation would be something like okay, when your bear comes up, use him. Okay. Now, when I was talking about the Aegis when it comes out, I'll let you take a look at it here. There it is. There's the Aegis. Like I said, he's kind of big, kind of gets in the way there. He like completely covers up the dummy there. All right. So you got to kind of get used to that. So make sure you kind of look at that and get used to that. It'll take you a little bit, but once you do, it's quite easy. All right, let's get out of here. All right, so if you're not using the potion, if you're going to use the potion here, okay, I'll show you the recipe for the potion that we need. Okay, so in our potions, we're going to use Lorcan's Tears, Blessed Thistle, Dragon Thorn, and Wormwood. This gives us the Essence of Willpower, which grants Major Brutality, Minor Savagery, and Major Endurance. Okay, but if you are going to leave on this one here, Green Lotus, and the Belly Netch, you really don't have to use it. Okay, you don't have to use the potion. All right. So if we look at my text chat here, okay, on the Atronach, we're hitting 45,738.2 DPS. Okay, so we're looking at over 45k I'm sure if somebody really sat there and worked on the rotation and got it out, you could probably pass 50k. Or maybe if you added potions, it might take you up a little bit more. Poison potions. Okay. Now the target skeleton, don't look at this one because that one was 18 seconds. Okay, because that was already out. I just killed him off. All right. So this one here, this is the regular target skeleton. Okay, unbuffed. Okay, so we're hitting, you know, around 30k. I've hit it a few times, and it kind of varies on what we get here. So this one was 27, so we're around 28k. You could probably get, like I said, 30k quite easy if you wanted to do it. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this video. If you like the build, please let me know. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.